What's going on, everyone? It's the news that everyone has been waiting for, at least the vast majority. This channel's going tennis only. Bring me my confetti. Nope. We have very low production value here. Very, very low. Very low. The majority of you are probably thinking, what took you so long? What took so long for you to go tennis only? Because, I don't know, I guess, nearing 900 subscribers now, and God knows how many of you just want to hear about tennis and nothing else. But for a while, I didn't just focus on tennis, even though I knew that that was the right thing to do. So I want to take this opportunity to look back at why this channel started, how this channel started, what I got into this for, and then I'll tell you about some of the things I've learned along the way. And I also want to say off the bat, there's a lot bigger news coming, right? The news is related to this, but I'll tell you, just like we've had keeping score on this channel, which has been, ideally, or at least last year it was, same time, same place, every week, guaranteed content with a structure. The same thing is coming your way, only for tennis. So that is the good news, and I'm withholding the details, but that's your little tease for that. But how this basically all started was I started this channel about 2-3 months before the 2017 Australian Open, and I did football videos and some hockey videos and probably some basketball, definitely some basketball, maybe some baseball. I'm a well-rounded sports fan. I love a lot of sports, and MMA even, which I think we've seen those videos on this channel as well. But then in the 2017 Australian Open final, Federer beat Nadal, and I did a video on that. And I'm like, holy crap, got 12,000 views. My most viewed video up until that point was probably 200, 300 views, something in that ballpark. So that was big. And then Federer beat Nadal at Indian Wells, and I made a video called How Federer Solved the Nadal Puzzle. And that video got, I believe, it's at like 28,000 views now. And then I was like, okay, something's up. I gotta keep making these tennis videos. They seem to blow up. And at this point, I think I know why. I think it's because there's a great market for tennis highlights on YouTube. So a lot of people go to YouTube for their tennis highlights, and it drives the traffic to my analysis videos. It also drives up the dislikes, because a lot of people just, I think, hit the dislike button when it's not a highlight video, but it's all good. It's worth it. It's worth it. So I think that's what kind of went on. And then, I made sure that for the majors or whenever there was a big tennis match, I watched it and I analyzed it. And that was kind of the main source of the traffic on this channel. But I didn't go to tennis only. I was very stubborn there. And everyone who I asked for advice said, just do tennis. You're, to do the other stuff, you're kind of working hard on things that are not giving you as much reward as the tennis is, and you can have a niche, and niches are so valuable in today's media economy, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't. And the reason I didn't is because I really didn't care about you guys. I didn't do this for you guys. How many YouTubers are willing to admit that? I didn't really care about my audience. I did this for myself. I started this for myself for a couple reasons. One, I love broadcasting. It's the reason that I didn't pursue college tennis. It's because I wanted to focus on my broadcasting, and playing, a sport in college would get in the way. So that's, one of the reasons. By the way, I wasn't all that good. I wasn't playing D1 ACC. Let's put it that way. But I do believe, or I know I could have played in college if I wanted. But I didn't pursue that for the same reason. I love broadcasting, and when I started this YouTube channel, it was a time in my life where I didn't really have anywhere to go. A radio station I was working at, for example, shut down. So where I was doing shows on that radio station, I couldn't do that anymore. So I turned to YouTube, one, to stay sharp, but also to, have something, have a product. I needed to just stay active and have a product. So I did it for me. I didn't really do it for you. But that has changed now. I want to start doing this for my audience, for you guys. I'm plenty busy now. I'm doing a lot of things. One of them is covering the women's tennis team here at Syracuse University. You can follow Citrus TV to keep up on that, and I'm having a lot of fun doing that. So I am plenty busy now, a lot busier than I was when I started this channel. But for that reason, I want to shift the focus of this channel and do tennis only and see how I can build my audience in tennis and work this niche. The niche has been so valuable to me, and that is my, my advice. This is my advice. If you are doing really anything, you need to be able to answer the question, why are you doing this? Who are you doing this for? So for me, it used to be, I'm doing it to stay sharp. I'm doing it for my reel. I'm doing it so I have something to show people. But that's how, when I met someone, it started, when I met someone in my industry, I got to show them my YouTube work. That's what I got to do. That's very important. So that's what I did it for, right? Always be able to answer that question. Have an answer to that question in mind. And then as long as you have the answer to that question, you won't have any regrets and you'll know how to make decisions. Now the reason I'm doing this is shifting. I love doing this, but now I have a new objective. I don't need material for my reel. I have other ways to stay sharp. Now I want to focus on delivering you guys the best tennis analysis I can. And I love this sport, and everywhere I turn, tennis has come up big for me. I'm not going to get into any more detail than that, but the way this channel, the way I've kind of struck gold with tennis videos on this channel, that has happened to me in other aspects of my life when it comes to the sport of tennis. It just comes up big for me all the time. And while I'm talking about myself, which I don't like to do on this channel, I want to answer 2 questions that I've meant to answer, but I don't want to dedicate videos to this. So if you're still watching, it means you're probably a fan of my channel and not some random guy who came across this video. So if you're some random guy or gal who came across this video, I'm sure you clicked off a long time ago. 2 things. My tennis background. See, this is just gonna be a fan secret. So I studied under Chris Lewitt, who is the author of 2 books. One of them, or maybe it might be 3 now. One of them is The Secrets of Spanish Tennis, and one of them is the Tennis Bible, the Technical Bible of Tennis, or the Technical Encyclopedia, one of those. If you look up Chris Lewitt, he's one of the best coaches in New York, in my opinion, and that's who I kind of owe a lot of my tennis knowledge to, a lot of my knowledge of tennis, because I was just sort of a sponge. With him. And he's a really great tennis mind who travels to Spain, actively studies the Spanish way, the Spanish system of tennis. Very passionate about that. Matt Smith, a great assistant coach that he had for a while, was a brilliant tactician. The reason why I was such a sponge is because I'm a smaller player, so I felt like I always had to be the smarter player on the court. I had to work harder, and I had to be smarter, or I was going to lose. I'm not that physically gifted. I'm pretty talented, but not that talented. And I love kind of all sports. I'm a student of a lot of sports. But, when it came to tennis, I was a real student of the game. So I owe a lot of my knowledge about tennis to Chris Lewitt and the fact that I was able to, soak up his coaching, not only of me, but of other players. I was also an assistant on his staff at his academy for a few years. In terms of my level, I played for the best public school in New York State, Horace Greeley High School. High school tennis is sort of a joke in a lot of places. I'm well aware of that. But we were actually really good. The state doubles final, for example, was Greeley. that was the state final. So my team was really good. And I was all league 3 years, all conference 2 years, and I was on varsity all 4 years. So that's kind of my tennis background. USTA, I just didn't build up. I didn't play that many tournaments, so I don't have that a big enough sample size for you guys. Best player I beat was a 3-star. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. And then another question, who's my favorite player? It's David Ferrer. Okay, It's David Ferrer.